Andrew, it's great to see you.
Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
It has been a while. We've been fortunate enough to work together in New Brunswick before. We're going to again in February. What are you looking forward to about the HubCap Comedy Festival?
Just happy to be home, man. I got a ton of family and friends in Moncton. I just always enjoy being back in New Brunswick. It's where I was brought up, and I miss it dearly all the time. I'm actually going to be there next weekend. I'm coming back.
Awesome. What are you doing here?
My mama is turning 80 years old, so the whole family's getting together. And it was a gig-free weekend, but you know how it goes. I think I might have ended up getting a gig in PEI, so it's going to disappoint some of the family, but whatever. I mean, we got to keep working, right?
We do. That's the business, right? It's a wonderful thing in our business where first night of my honeymoon, I did a gig, right? That's how we roll.
Yeah, okay. I thought I was going to disappoint my mom. It's not my wife, dude. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
We got to do what we got to do, man.
Yeah, we certainly do.
And like you say, you're from New Brunswick, but obviously you travel all over the world performing stand-up. Do you find that there's a difference between maritime audiences and audiences elsewhere?
Well, maritime audiences in general, I mean, you've traveled the world. I find maritime audiences extremely giving. Like, they're always a very nice audience, and they're easy to get on board, and they're not too hung up on, not to say that I'm not politically correct, but just politically correctness in general. Like, they don't get too twisted up about, they realize they're in a show to laugh, and that's what they're up to, right?
That's exactly it. I mean, the great thing I find about all of Atlantic Canada is this idea that funny's funny, right? They came out to laugh. They didn't come out to judge. They didn't come out to. There's different places that have different things. I mean, in England, audiences come out just to ruin your life. Like they come out just to make a comedian's life miserable. In other parts of Canada, as you say, audiences across Canada generally are great everywhere, but there's definitely a feeling in the Maritimes where people have come out to have a great time.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to get a chance to see what the audiences in Northwest Territories are this weekend. I'm heading up there right now.
Wow, amazing. Where are you performing?
It's a town called Hay River. And when the agent sent me the gig, I was like, I'm pretty sure you mean High River, that's right south of where I live in Calgary. He was like, no, Northwest Territories. I was like, oh, that's why the money's so good.
That's going to be an experience. I mean, is that one of the things you love so much about this job, that you never know where you're going to be next?
No, you don't. And you know what? And you know how it goes sometimes? In 2 months, we're all unemployed, right?
Exactly. We just
piss it in the wind. Piss it in the wind, man.
It's one day at a time, always. We never know if tomorrow we're going to have to get a proper job.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And even this month, it was like, I'm thinking, you're thinking all this sunk, oh no, my December is crap this year. Why did I stay out west? I should be east with my girlfriend, and this is ridiculous. And then the next thing you know, I get a national Toyota commercial, and I got 2 more gigs lined up at last minute things, and it was like, oh, okay, month is saved. Christmas is saved. Once again, it's another Christmas goddamn miracle.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's one of the things that keeps us on our toes, but also I think one of the great things about certainly the comedy community in Canada is that there's a Dunkirk spirit here, because it isn't easy for us here. There isn't a kind of a star system like there is in America. So everyone that does stand-up in this country loves the art of comedy. None of us got into this because we thought we were going to be millionaires.
No, not at all. And it's interesting to talk to some of the U.S. guys. I was talking to it was Big J Okerson. Do you know him? Yes.
Well, I know his work. I don't know him personally, but I know his work very well.
Right. Well, I met him a month ago, and then when he was talking, I mean, the boys have done some things, but I mean, he's not Jerry Seinfeld or something like that. But when he was talking gigs, they were, they're talking in the $10,000 range.
Right.
For the Canadians, it's a tenth of that. And if we're hitting the $1,000 range, it's a pretty decent show. You know what I mean? But they're talking 10, 15,000 for casinos. I'm like, holy boys, I got to get down to the States. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just, but it creates a nice atmosphere, I find, because it's, not that it's not competitive here, but it definitely feels like you arrive in a dressing room in Canada anywhere in the beautiful country, and you know that you're going to get on with the other comics in the dressing room because chances are you all just have the one thing in common, which is you worship the craft of stand-up comedy.
Absolutely, all brothers in arms, that's for sure.
That's it. And obviously you've been doing this a very long time, but when you first started, what was the thing that kind of spurred you to do that very first open mic spot all those years ago?
Well, I think it was one of the things was back even in living in Edmundston, New Brunswick, when I was a kid, I always did some sort of performance at the end of the year. Right. You know, and I always wanted to do comedy. I always wanted to do it, but I'm a kid, and how do you do that? I didn't know. You know what I mean? And I would reenact Eddie Murphy's Delirious at recess outside in the schoolyard. And we were just little brats like that. We loved that stuff. We loved all stand-up comedy, Cheech and Chong. And I always wanted to do this, but never had the opportunity. My friend in university, so fast forward, last year of university, I'm 22, 23 years old, and that was the one shot where we went on a trip together. We was like a class. I mean, it was a university, so it was a cheap bus ride and 3 nights in New York, so we all jumped on it. And we went to Caroline's Comedy Club. And after the show, in the hotel room, I'm recounting a ridiculous story. And my buddy's like, you got to do that on stage. There's something going on next week. And he was the doorman at Yuck, so he got me on. And it was that competition for searching for the funniest Canadian Yuck's amateur. It was my first time on stage, but I placed second. Wow,
that's a good start.
Right? It was and then, 8 months after that, I got the Just for Laughs Festival.
Wow.
But since then, James, it's been downhill. I'm performing in the Northwest Territories this weekend, 20 years later, so it hasn't got any freaking better, has it?
But that's the funny thing about stand-up. I mean, it's like, you just never know where it's going. It's just these constant ups and downs. But really, I mean, the big win for any of us isn't necessarily the late night spot or the $15,000 gig. The big win is that we're still doing it.
Absolutely. And that we're still enjoying it. Like, I don't feel like I work, and I know you feel the same. We don't work for a living. I don't work. What do you do for a job? I don't do a job. I'm a freaking vagabond. I guess I drive for my job. That's what I do for my job. I drive to gigs. That's what I do. I drive to shows. Everything else is, like the old blues man says, I don't get paid to play the blues. I get paid to travel there.
It's true. It's true. I remember a British comedian I worked with a lot called Shazir Mirza used to say that we're basically truck drivers. We're just delivering jokes to places, and that's
absolutely. Yeah, one town at a time. Yeah. Driving a lorry, I imagine. Driving a lorry.
Lorry. That's very good. It's nice to hear a word that I've had to stop using because no one understands. Lorry. No. And obviously you performed in Moncton before, but this is your first time at HubCap. What are you looking forward to most about the festival?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. I'm looking forward to getting together with just the group of people that we are, you know what I mean? And sharing stories and having fun. Like, that's what festivals are all about, you know, and just going back home, I'll get to see the folks. I'll get to hang out in New Brunswick, and I have I'm not allowed to say favorite when it comes to family, but my favorite nephew lives in town. He just had a baby. I haven't seen the baby yet, so I'll be down in Moncton in a month and get to take care of all that business. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to see some family. That's
beautiful. So it becomes like a bit of family thing, and it's you coming home, but it's also a chance for you to do what you do on awesome stages. I mean, one of the things I love so much about this festival is the fact that, and again, every festival has its thing, but I love HubCap's insistence that we do half-hour sets. Like, we're not having to kind of, get it down to 5 minutes or 7 minutes or 8 minutes. We're getting to go out there and do a full 30. And of course, doing 3 shows a night, like, and I've seen you a number of times, and I mean, seemingly no 2 shows are the same with you. Like, you really like to mix it up. Is that something you think about a lot? Like, do you plan a set list for a festival like this, or do you have such a kind of bulk of material that you just come in and...
That's it. I think it's more Rolodex. You know how it goes, right? I think it's more like you have. I kind of might have a skeleton. Maybe I'll, where you might want to start or end. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, it's Rolodex, and especially when you're in a festival. Yeah. It's so much fun when you're doing multiple shows a night, night after night. Like, there's a festival that goes on in Calgary that I do every year. The guy's he's absolutely nuts, but it gives you a chance to do a couple sets, 8 nights in a row.
Wow.
And it's amazing how much you grow even just doing that. You know what I mean? Like, you take one joke at the beginning of that week, and then towards the end, it's a completely different beast, you know, and all the stuff you've seen in between there. And that's when comedy gets fun again, when you're not struggling through a corporate set where you have to be like, oh no, I'm a robot, I have to be clean, I can't say this, they said I gotta be, I can't offend employees, LGBTQ friendly, and I gotta, and you're just trying to work in these goddamn parameters, but it's so nice to just freaking be on the magic carpet and fucking go for a ride. I don't know if I can swear, and I just did. Sorry about that.
You can. It's cool. No, and I mean, what you're saying is...
I've been trying to be so clean.
Yeah, this is very corporate. Do not offend anyone. We need to know what indigenous ground we're on before we can go any further in this interview.
Yeah, exactly. What bodies are buried beneath us? That's the question we need to know. Who's buried beneath us? God damn it! I want to know what tribe it was.
It's very important. And then, of course, I mean, that is, and the great thing about, as you say, multiple sets a night is, regularly we walk off stage and when we have had fun, you walk off and go, oh, that was amazing. I'd love to do that again. And the great thing about a festival is we're whisked in a car, taken somewhere, and 10 minutes later we're on a different stage with a different audience and we can do it again. And then 10 minutes after that, we're doing it again.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? And then the best part of festivals, man, then we got after party. And then we get to all come around. And then it's freaking hanging out together, sharing those stories, and freaking having a pint, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's holiday camp for comedians. We get to. It's you say, it's a respite from from whether you're travelling to the Northwest Territories to when we're on the road for 7 hours driving to a corporate gig. For the most part, or certainly for a lot of it, and certainly for me, it's a lonesome job. I'm on my own doing these, driving for these corporate gigs and so forth. The fact that suddenly we get to do these shows all together, and then, as you say, we all hole up in a hotel suite for the rest of the night. It's a dream.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's definitely summer camp, but for some reason it's in February in Moncton. I don't know. It's not like summer camp at all. Why don't they do that in the summer? We're on a lake somewhere.
I know.
Makes a lot more sense.
But who needs to go outside? What's that?
Were you there for last year?
No, the year before.
Okay, because I heard last year, I think Laurie Gibbs and some of the people that were coming, everybody that was trying to fly out, I think got delayed a day because of weather.
They did.
It's February.
Of course, yeah, it goes without saying. But then I guess, who needs to be outdoors when you've got a hotel suite full of vodka?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll figure that out. that will be taken care of.
And then, who were your you mentioned obviously Eddie Murphy was a comedy hero of yours when you were growing up. Who were comedy heroes that you worked with when you were starting out? Like, who were the people you looked up to?
They were the Canadian boys. Definitely the guys that had given me some advice along the way that was invaluable. I remember Derek Edwards. Yeah. He's a Canadian legend, and then the other guys that I would have really enjoyed were like a Wilmot or Mike McDonald. Yeah. Mike wasn't very approachable back in the day, though. When I was starting, he was still dealing with some. I think he just dealt with imbalance in his head. Yeah. But I remember Edwards back probably about 5 years. I'm 5-6 years in. I haven't headlined yet, and it feels like I'm spinning in my wheels. And he's the one that said, "Do you still love it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Did you make more money than last year?" And I was like, "Yep." And he's like, "Do you feel you're getting better?" And I'm like, "Always." He goes, "Why quit now? See where it goes."
That's beautiful. That is
Years
beautiful.
later, you know where it goes? The Northwest Territories, man. What? I didn't see that happening. He's going to the Northwest freaking Territories. Son of a bitch.
Anything can happen in this game. Anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your time, and I genuinely mean this when I say I cannot wait to see you in February. I can't wait to see you perform. I can't wait to hang with you. It's going to be a blast. And New Brunswick's finest coming home.
Man, likewise. You've done a wonderful thing for the scene in New Brunswick, man. You're a freaking champ coming from England, and then I mean, anyway, I don't need to blow smoke up your ass. You're a fucking phenom out there, and good for you. You're taking her by storm out there, man.
Well, it means a lot, man. Like I said, you know what it's like. You're just happy to be working, right? That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you very soon, and thank you again for your time. You're a legend, and I love you. Cheers, brother.
Take it easy, bro. Be safe on the road.
See you soon. Cheers, Andrew. Bye. Bye.